The trial was over, but the echoes of it lingered in every corner of Maycomb. The air itself felt heavier, as if the town carried guilt it refused to admit. Atticus moved through those days quietly. He went to work, he came home, he sat on the porch with his book, but Scout could see something different in his eyes, a kind of distance, like he was looking at something no one else could see. Tom Robinson had been moved to the Maycomb jail. His appeal was coming, but the town's anger was faster than the law. Word spread that a group of men planned to take justice into their own hands. That evening, Atticus left home carrying only a book and a single chair. He told the children to stay put, but curiosity never obeys rules. Scout, Jem, and Dill followed him through the dark streets, keeping to the shadows. The courthouse loomed ahead, its windows dimly lit, its columns ghostly white under the moon. Atticus sat outside the jailhouse door, reading by a single lamp. He looked calm, as if waiting for something inevitable. The night deepened, the streets emptied. Then, from far away, came the sound of cars, engines growling, gravel crunching. Headlights flickered against the walls. 4 cars stopped at once in front of the jail. Doors opened, boots hit the ground. A group of men stepped out, faces shadowed by hats, hands buried in pockets where guns might be. They walked toward Atticus slowly, the way a storm approaches a field. He stood, closed his book, and said something too low to hear. The men didn't answer. The air between them turned sharp. From the darkness, Scout, Jem, and Dill crouched behind a bush, their hearts thudding like drums. Jem's hand trembled, clutching Scout's sleeve. Then, before anyone could stop her, Scout ran, straight into the circle of men. The silence broke like glass. She stopped right beside her father, looking up at the strange faces lit by the yellow jail lamp. For a moment, the men didn't move. A child was the last thing they expected. Scout blinked, trying to recognize them. Then she saw one face she knew, Mr. Cunningham, the farmer who'd once paid Atticus with hickory nuts and turnip greens. She smiled, nervous but hopeful. "Hey, Mr. Cunningham." He didn't answer, so she kept talking about his son, Walter, about school, about how Atticus had helped him with his land. Her small voice filled the tense air, awkward and innocent, chipping at the silence. The men stared, their anger caught in her words. The mob was still a mob, but now they were also fathers, neighbors, men with names. Mr. Cunningham's eyes softened. The lines of his face changed. He looked at Atticus, then back at Scout, and something inside him broke. He cleared his throat, mumbled something to the others, and said, "Let's go." Just like that, the storm passed. The cars started, the headlights faded, the gravel settled, and the only sound left was the chirping of crickets and the quiet rustle of paper as Atticus picked up his book again. He said nothing, just looked at Scout, a long, steady look that said more than words ever could. They walked home together under the soft, forgiving light of the street lamps. Scout didn't fully understand what had happened. Not yet. But she would remember that night for the rest of her life, the night a mob had come for blood, and a little girl's voice had reminded them of their humanity. Because sometimes courage isn't about strength or weapons. It's about the innocence that refuses to hate back.